Hey guys, welcome to another video. Arleesha here. As some of you may know, I recently started the hashtag DrawMeArlie and encouraged you guys to share some pictures of yourselves with me so that I could draw you during my break in February, just for some fun portrait practice. And I have been drawing you guys. I've been doing some sketches and even attempted painting a couple of them, and it's been a lot of fun just seeing how different and beautiful you all are. And before we move on to today's specific examples, which got a little bit weird and maybe a little strange, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. While I was away on my break in February, I definitely used Skillshare a lot as a student, as they have over 25,000 online learning classes, which I know you may have heard before, but did you know that Skillshare has classes on music production and writing songs? And they have a ton of classes on acrylic painting and abstract painting, which actually came in pretty handy for this video. And during my sketching sessions, I really enjoyed listening to some classes on productivity and personal development. Super useful stuff. Lots of people learning cool things. At less than $10 a month, which I pay for myself too, premium membership is pretty affordable. And while we've talked about a lot of the art-related classes, there's a lot of great stuff to learn on there in general. So if you guys are interested in checking out Skillshare, there's a link down in the description for the first 500 people to click through and get access to 2 free months of premium membership. So check it out down there. I had originally set out with the intention of this video being a continuation of the sketches I had already done of you guys. So I would show you the ones I had completed so far, and then record some video footage of some new sketches of more of you. But as soon as I started this first one, I was just feeling a disconnect, and I thought maybe if I got out some of my other supplies and kind of just scribbled over top of this, I would feel more connected to it. So what you're seeing now is a Pentel water brush thing that I filled with diluted ink, and I wish I could tell you what kind of ink this is, but I can't because I literally filled this brush pen with diluted ink like 2 years ago. Yeah, over 2 years ago. It was for Inktober of 2016. I still haven't used it all because I forget that it's in my pencil case. Anyway, so diluted ink, and then I went over top of it with some watercolors, and it turned into this big mess, and I was really struggling. And I did an entire page, as you can see here, of attempts, and at this point I was honestly considering scrapping this entire video idea for this week and coming back to it at a later time. I've been having trouble with sketching in general and just been feeling much more connected with going straight in with painting, so I thought I would give this a try and just try working out my larger shapes and going in right away with color, establishing my values, and seeing if I could make more progress that way.
Oh my child, I know you hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt.
I did really enjoy laying in some looser texture marks, and I felt overall like this was a step closer to how I was feeling at the time and what I wanted to create. It's a little bit of a scary thing, but I've been feeling like my art is going to go through a pretty big change in the coming months. I've been experimenting with a couple different mediums and methods of painting, and I've been learning to love some new things, and it's a little bit frightening to me because part of me feels like my art is going to look completely different in 6 months, but I'm not really sure yet. I just haven't spent enough time on it to know. I hope that you guys will enjoy following along as things change and develop, and I hope that it'll still be recognizable as something that I'm passionate about and something I care about, and I hope that we will all still be able to connect with one another. That's one of my biggest fears, is that I'll change the way I make art and will feel like I kind of need to rebuild this community. But I don't think that's going to happen because I think you guys are pretty awesome, and we've had a lot of fun together. We've got a good thing going, you know? And I'm nervous and I'm excited to see how my style and my methods change over the next few months and the next few years, and I know this is just going to be a phase of growth for me that every artist goes through, and it's normal, and that's what I'm telling myself, and I'm definitely not freaking out about it.
I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up.
Speaking of things changing, this is where things got kind of extra different, and I got out some heavy body acrylic paints. I know, it seems like a bit of a big jump. I mean, I was using the acrylic wash recently, which is technically acrylic paint, but this is specifically heavy body acrylics, so it's much thicker, a consistency a little bit closer to oil paints, but not as oily. I've been really interested in trying out working with acrylics because they dry faster than oil paints and they're an opaque medium and you can layer them, but they don't have that drying shift like gouache. And I don't know the answer to how I'll feel about acrylics, so I had to at least try them out, and I figured this whole drawing my followers, which has now kind of changed into painting my followers, would be a good opportunity to try it out. One thing I will say that I have been enjoying very much is this looser style of laying in a sketch, just kind of going in with my paint directly on whatever I'm painting on, may that be a piece of paper or in this case a cheap canvas, and getting my construction in right away. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. I'll do my best to make sure that I kind of leave the handles and usernames for the lovely followers who let me draw them / paint them for this particular video, so you guys can kind of see the references I was working with. This one in particular, I really like this one because it's this very summery sort of beach picture, and there's this white, what looks like a wood panel that's kind of going behind the figure, and I thought that was really interesting and would translate kind of interestingly into something a bit more abstract. I liked the complementary contrast of the bluish green and the orange colors, and I wanted to play around with that a bit more. Also, whose idea was this dangerous move of having my tea right there, so close to my water containers? I tried to not put it directly next to my water containers because I knew if I did, I would just end up with a teacup full of acrylic paint, which would make me very sad because I enjoy tea very much, and I really, really, really don't like wasting tea. I don't like forgetting about tea. I like to drink it. It's very yummy and good. One thing I really like about working with acrylics is I feel like it's kind of a very pure way to learn about colors and values and just laying in big chunky things without having to worry about paint that's going to dry a different color than how it looks when I lay it down. So that happens with gouache and with watercolors a little bit too, you know, when you're working with them wet, they look different than when they're dry. And acrylics are much closer to the same, and I was able to work opaquely and cover things up if I made a mistake, so I feel like this is going to be a fun medium to experiment with. I was really hesitant and nervous about using acrylics for paintings. I used to use them for painting miniatures for board games, but I haven't actually used them for paintings like this with the exception of the acrylic wash. I didn't realize until I started looking into them more that one of the biggest reasons I was avoiding them was because a lot of artists who I admire and respect were talking about how they didn't like acrylic paints, and so many people were so adamant about their disconnect with acrylic paints, people that I admire and respect, that I just completely eliminated it as an option for myself. Not even super consciously, I was just like, oh yeah, when I'm looking for mediums, acrylic's not really an option, but never really gave it much thought. It wasn't really until I took my break that I started to think, wait, why am I avoiding even trying this medium? What if I like it? What if I don't? How am I gonna know if I don't give it a try? I will leave links to the paints that I'm using down in the description if you guys are interested in knowing how I got to this weird, abstract, messy place. I'm also doing something different than the younger, more excited me would have done, and I just picked up a small mixing set of acrylics instead of going all crazy like I did with watercolors and buying 24 color sets in 3 different brands. when I wanted to just test something out. I'm trying to be much more conservative with things now. Another unfortunate drawback to working with acrylics is you're literally creating plastic waste while you paint, because when the paint's dry on the palette, whatever is left is just gonna be plastic, and you can't use it, you can't reactivate it, all you can do is throw it away, as far as I know. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I really like that about watercolors and gouache, that you can reactivate them, use them again, and even oil paints, because they take so long to dry, you're kind of getting more time out of the paints and potentially creating less waste. I don't know about acrylics yet. It seems very versatile, and I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm going to keep trying around. This was my favorite part of this painting, just laying in this giant strip of textured white paint over the top of this. So fun, so abstract, so cool. I'm definitely gonna keep painting like this and experimenting with things like this where I don't necessarily have a super clear idea in mind before I start, maybe just an idea of colors, and I might even do a little thumbnail sketch for values. A few of you guys expressed interest in my gouache video for seeing, a process and video sort of thing on how I create looser, more impressionistic, abstract, portrait-y things like this, so you guys can expect more details on that in the future, especially once I start to feel more comfortable in my own process. I can let you guys know what I'm doing and how I'm getting there. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who sent in their pictures to me using the hashtag. I'm going to keep drawing them, and I'm going to keep experimenting with pictures from the hashtag. So if you haven't posted anything using hashtag #DrawMeArlie yet, you still can, and maybe I'll draw you in the future. Maybe I'll do more videos like this. Don't know yet, but it's going to be fun. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to check out this video. If you're interested in trying a free trial of Skillshare, information's down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. You're the best. Bye bye.